So if you recall, I already made one video on Alien Earth. This is my follow-up video to Alien Earth, and it's not so much of a review as much as it is a rant, because I really don't have much to say about this TV show other than it's boring nonsense with stupid characters. They have an opportunity, plenty of opportunities actually, to make something interesting out of this show, and the best that they could come up with was children being transitioned into synthetic bodies. We never asked the question of how that works, whether the actual person dies, if the consciousness of the robotic synthetic bodies are actual human beings left over, if the downloaded brains are actually legitimate, if they're still the person, or if they are just mimicking the person. They never asked these questions. And so it always comes off as sort of like pretentious sci-fi gobbledygook, and it's a wasted opportunity. Hold on, something just popped up on my computer, and we're getting rid of it. There's a wasted opportunity to express a very rarely played, science fiction trope, right? And the whole consciousness versus, well, I don't want to say rarely played. It's in Blade Runner a lot, and so I'm personally one of those people who's like says that Blade Runner's canon to Alien, at least Alien 1 and 2. If I, like to pick and choose, but having binged the entire Alien franchise up until about Romulus, and I haven't seen Prey either. Those are the only two I have not seen, is Romulus and Prey. And I haven't played any of the video games or seen any of the comics for Alien, other than I think I want to say there was a comic book that explained for Predator. There's a comic book for Predator explaining the pistol from, I want to say 1617, something like that. I did see that comic book. I saw a digital version of it. But other than that, I've watched pretty much every single Predator movie, every single Alien movie, and I can confidently say that Alien Earth fits right in with the garbage era of this franchise. And it really doesn't warrant existence. I mean, I would like for the show to have been good. I would like to have seen a well done, thrilling, exciting, fun alien TV show. That's sort of something that I think we could all get behind. But this came off as a pretentious science fiction gobbledygook. It does. I mean, it's full of stupid characters. I was rooting for the bad guy. I mean, sometimes you root for the bad guy, sometimes you root for the xenomorph, but in this case, I was rooting for the little eyeball monster with tentacles on it. I was hoping that thing would just kill everybody, honestly, because they had a xenomorph. This is where we're going to get into some spoiler section. Just me ranting here. Screw a review. Whenever they bring in a xenomorph, right, we have the Prodigy, which is the company that is doing the synthetic children, right? That's the basis of the whole story. Whenever a Weyland-Yutani ship crashes into the building of Prodigy, Prodigy claims it and says, Weyland-Yutani is stepping on our territory. So, we're going to take the specimens from the Weyland-Yutani ship. By the way, the crew of that ship, completely stupid. The whole episode about them crashing into Earth, they all deserve to die. Basically, they're incompetent and they're stupid at their jobs. I've never seen such an incompetent crew in my life, in fiction, that is. And I mean, honestly, I don't know how much more stupid you can get. And that's coming from a guy who's seen Alien Resurrection. And so, basically, the crew lands. They have, they capture the specimens. Boy Cavalier, who owns Prodigy, who's barefoot, and is a younger fella who's supposed to be an allegory for Elon Musk. Whoop-de-fucking-do, we have one of those. Get ready, folks, if you're a fan of science fiction, for the next 5 to 6 years, for all of the big science fiction CEOs to be Elon Musk allegories. Get ready for that. And so, basically, he wants the specimens from this alien ship, and, it's the Weyland-Yutani ship with all the alien specimens, and they take the embryo of a face hugger, right, and implant it into the main character's brother's lung to birth a xenomorph. And now this xenomorph is running around laying eggs and killing people. After it gets released, that is. They keep it in containment for a while, and then it gets released. And so it gets released out of almost pure incompetence and neglect, because while it's in captivity, the main character Wendy, originally her name was something else, and I can't for the life of me remember what her name was. But her new synthetic name, her new trans name is Wendy, in reference to the Peter Pan novel, which there's plenty of Peter Pan references throughout this story. Between Morrow being Captain Hook, Wendy, the Lost Boys being the name of the children, and then Boy Cavalier kind of playing the Peter Pan role, right? And so basically, Wendy is able to communicate with the xenomorph. How? No fucking clue. There's no explanation as to how she is able to speak directly to the xenomorph. And with all these science brains, these big brain scientists there, being able to transition children minds into synthetic bodies, being able to contain aliens, they never for once stop and think, man, I wonder what the xenomorph is saying. Because clearly the xenomorph said, eat and kill them all. So whenever Wendy releases the xenomorph, everybody's like, why did you do that? And she's like, I don't know. It told me to. It's like, dumbass, it's a xenomorph. Why didn't you ask her what she was saying to the xenomorph? And so naturally the xenomorph commits, violent acts of freaking genocide on its way out. And so no real main character dies at the end, unless you want to count low sperm count guy who died, and they drug his body out. He had a xenomorph pop out of his chest. They drug his body out to the beach and just kind of left him there for the little eyeball monster to crawl into his dead corpse, and that's how the season ends for him. But meanwhile, Wendy becomes a girl boss because, she can adapt her mind. She's become like Lucy in the movie Lucy, which objectively better movie than this. And so she's able to move things in areas. I don't know how to explain this. She's able to adapt her synthetic brain to a computer system and operate like security doors in a completely different part of the building from where she's standing. How does she do that? How does that work? It doesn't make any sense. She's able to go through intercoms where there's no intercoms. She can talk to the xenomorph, and the xenomorph's a little puppy now. It's hardly even dangerous unless you're, just a civilian walking around, and So the biggest crime for me is the destruction of the xenomorph. It's the fact that the xenomorph isn't even that scary. It's a little puppy dog, that's on the side of Wendy and the other, crazy transhuman synthetic kids. And so, aside from that, it's just stupid. And when it's not being stupid, it's being boring. It doesn't have anything intriguing to say. It doesn't have anything exciting to do. It's just boring, and the characters are, two-dimensional at best. And I can't even remember half their names. I couldn't be bothered to remember half their names. The positives, though, take away. The budget was used properly because the show definitely looks good. The set looks good. The science fiction shit, the aliens, the CGI, the environment, all looks fantastic. It's the script. It's the story. It's the characters. The acting is well done. There's a lot of good things about this show, but what makes it just mid is the script. It's the shit script with shit characters. They're stupid. I got really nothing other than that. It's very basic and simple. Will there be a season 2? Absolutely, there's going to be a season 2. Will I watch it? We're going to wait and see, because I can't see this getting any better than this. Usually seasons, whenever TV shows like this come out, season 1 is always the peak season. Nothing really beats season 1 a lot of the time. It's very rare that you get like a season 3 that's better than a season 1 of a TV show or something like that, right? It's hard to tell the variables behind that, but what I can say is that I don't see this show recovering. This is a show that's a part of a franchise that should have capped out at 2 movies. Alien 1 and 2 are the objectively only 2 good Alien movies ever. I accept Alien 3 on certain circumstance, that's where you cut off the limb. Alien 4 sucks. Alien vs. Predator, okay, that's a guilty pleasure. I can admit that it's a bad movie, but at least I had fun watching Alien vs. Predator 1. Alien versus Predator Requiem, fuck that movie. I never want to see it again. It's boring. I'd never want to see it. I'm not going to talk about the Predator movies, and I haven't seen Romulus. Now, Prometheus, I think Prometheus is intriguing. It ruins everything. It completely destroys canon, and it starts the downhill fall, like the fall of the Alien franchise and the fall of Ridley Scott as a director. And Alien Covenant's just garbage. I can't even stress how garbage Alien Covenant is. Besides the memes are great for that movie, but other than that, this franchise capped out at 2 movies. That's where it should have stopped. You know, without Ripley, without the xenomorphs being dangerous, without the Wayland Yutani factor, you lose the whole plot. You need to have scary xenomorphs and you need to have fun. That's where this show definitely lacks. So let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. Did y'all like Alien Earth? Because I didn't really. So I hope I never have to make another video about this again. But yeah, like, share, comment, subscribe. Thank you for letting me rant. I'll see y'all in another video.